All right, guys. Now we're down to the main event: Johnny Walker and Jamahal Hill. Now, we've seen a good differentiating version of Johnny Walker from start to finish. You think about the guy that came in reckless but very powerful, was taking on fighters like Justin Ledet that you can tend to find your ways with him if you're lucky. And now you're fighting the Thiago Santoses of the world and able to go 5 rounds in a decision. But what are some of the holes that we can see? And are they holes? For me, when you look at Jamahal Hill as a fighter, not only has he never been finished on the feet, you look at that only loss against Paul Craig, but then you look at the comeback fight, and, it's the power that Jamahal Hill has and the accuracy that he has in his hands is substantially, surreal. And it would be interesting to see if, Jamahal in his 35 plus years goes to the heavyweight division, because he seems to have a really good size and style for that. But in this case, we're going to actually give up a 3-inch reach advantage for Johnny Walker. But the big thing for me to discuss in this fight is volume. So, you look at Johnny Walker's last few fights. I think since the Corey Anderson fight, he's become a lot smarter and is able to pick his shots a lot better when it comes to the striking game. And you talk about, how the Thiago Santos fight was a step in the right direction, but in a very competitive technical striking fight, he came out, on the losing end. Now, the biggest thing for me is you look at Johnny Walker's output, since the Dana White Contender Series, he's never eclipsed the 50 significant strike mark. So he's either had these really short fights where he's able to clobber people, or he's gone the distance, like his Thiago Santos fight, but reeled it back a bit in terms of action and just tried to, pace himself, find the right spots, make sure that he wasn't leaving himself open for any counters, those kinds of things. And this is where I think it's a little different now. Jamahal Hill is not going to fight like Thiago Santos. The kicks might not be there as much, but those strikes are going to come in, and they're going to come in heavy, and they're going to come in fast. I think that he's going to have a lot faster hands, which makes him throw a lot, quicker combos, the 1-2s. And for me, not only has Jamahal Hill come out of a UFC debut with 101 significant strikes, but against Ovince St. Preux, he had almost 70, and that was through, I think halfway through the second round or so. So from an output perspective and volume perspective, Jamahal Hill is throwing at almost a double clip. And for me, based on the accuracy that he has, the chin issues that we've seen from Johnny Walker, and his inability to stay poised the entire fight as opposed to the Thiago Santos fight, there's a huge lean there for Jamahal Hill in this fight, because you're basically banking on, because Thiago Santos' power is not comparable to Jamahal Hill's, especially in the hands. And that's where I see that if this fight goes 5 rounds, can Johnny Walker really go 5 rounds and avoid that kind of power? Because the big thing going for him is we haven't even seen Jamahal Hill in those rounds. So, getting your feet wet in that 5-round bout with Thiago Santos is a huge advantage. But again, pacing yourself, picking your shots, and leaving any openings where it's still a competitive fight gives guys like Jamahal Hill a lot more confidence. Add in the fact that you've never been knocked out, and there's a good chance your confidence is oozing through the roof. So for me, I'm going to go with Jamahal Hill because I think he's going to attack the right spots. I think he's going to find some openings. And the thing about Jamahal Hill, when you have power like that and you find your openings, they tend to go well for you. And you're not dealing with a guy that's never been finished. You're dealing with a guy that has shown some issues with that chin. So for me, Jamahal Hill minus 160 makes a lot of sense for this main event. So let's take a look at the lines here. Minus 200 open or minus 250 live for Jamahal Hill. So very, very, similar lines for a lot of these types of fights that we've pegged guys around that minus 160 to minus 180 line. They seem to be about minus 200 openers, and then they're just getting bet up to about that minus 220, sometimes minus 250 range. So right now we have a pretty good idea of where these fights are headed in terms of, the weigh-ins and going into fight night. So keep it locked to SookyMMA. We'll make some final decisions on these picks come probably Friday night after those weigh-ins, but definitely be up with that beautiful graphic on Saturday morning whenever we get it from the UFC. So keep it locked, stay tuned, and peace.